Let's talk today about simplifying complex fractions. Simplifying complex fractions. All right, the first one we see, notice we have a fraction on top of another fraction, and that is what makes them complex, among other things, but that's one. So really, this is just a division problem, and when we have a division problem, we take the one on the right, well in this case it's the one on the bottom, we turn it upside down and we multiply it by the other one. We take the one down here, we turn it upside down, putting it on the right hand side, and now we multiply 2 times y, 3 times x. Since there's nothing we can cancel, that is all we have to do. Not so terrible. Let's take a look at another one. All right, this one is a little more complex. Yes, it's a complex fraction, but it's a little more complex in its nature. We don't have a single fraction down here on the bottom. We also don't have a single fraction up on the top. Therefore, the first thing I need to do is make that the case so that I can do what we just did. So, first, 1 is nothing more than x over x plus 2 over x. Now they have a common denominator, so I can write it as x plus 2 all over x. I can do the same thing in the bottom. I have to make a 4 into an x because the common denominator is x, so I have 4x over x. Notice I cancel the x's, I have a 4 left. Minus 6 over x, combining my terms, gives me 4x minus 6 all over x. Now I'm in the same position I was in the first problem. So I take the bottom one, I turn it upside down, and I write it over here. Once I've done that, I can look for things that I can cancel. For example, knowing I can cancel straight up and down, like this. There's nothing there, nothing there. I can cancel across like this. Oh, look, there's an x. But I can't cancel anything any further without checking. This would be, let's see, they have a common factor of 2. That would be 2x minus 3. And those are not the same. So I am left with my answer, which is x plus 2 over 4x minus 6, or if you want to leave it factored, that's okay as well. Not so terrible. Let's try another one. Let that sink in for just a second. All right. This one's a little bit easier because this one's just numbers, but let's take a look. This is nothing more than 3/3. Well, 3/3 plus 2/3 makes 5/3, divided by 4/9. Now I have a fraction on top of a fraction. I take the one on the bottom, I turn it upside down, and I multiply. But I can cancel first, because 3 goes into 3 once, and 3 goes into 9 3 times. 5 times 3 is 15, and I have a 4 on the bottom, and there's nothing else I can do. Again, not so terrible. The bottom one here, we have a fraction over a fraction. We take the one on the bottom. I'm going to make this line just a little bit longer so it's a little bit easier to see. I'm going to take the one on the bottom. I'm going to turn it upside down. And then I'm going to check and see if I can cancel anything. Notice I moved this up here, so don't think it's there again. All right, so now I look straight up and down, nothing to cancel, nothing to cancel, across like this. Oh, those aren't the same, so leave them alone. So I have 3 times the quantity x minus 1 over 5 times the quantity x plus 1. If you want to multiply that out and write it as 3x minus 3 over 5x plus 5, go right ahead. That doesn't bother me. Just don't make a silly math mistake while you're doing it. So far, so good. Let's try another one. Okay, we're back to that. Got to make them look similar anyway. So, okay, I need an x over here. So remember the rule. If I multiply the bottom by x, I have to multiply the top by x. So my top fraction turns out to be 2 plus 6x over x, all divided by 1 over y. I take the 1 over y, I turn it upside down, turn it into y over 1, and now I multiply. Well, the bottom turns out to be just x, and the top is 2y plus 6xy. And that is how we do complex fractions. Not so horrible. Let's take a look at the assignment. It's on page 508. It's 22 to 30, 44, and 48. The last two are a little bit challenging, but I'd like for you to at least give them a shot. Give it a little bit of effort. Don't beat yourself up if you don't get it, and make sure you ask questions when you get to class if you need help. See you then.